What's going on, everybody? Welcome to the Run Pure Sports MLB Swing for the Fences show. I'm your host, Mangone. I'm here with JSU. I'm here with Big T. And Big T's got me all fired up. I'm going to put him in the one hole today, not JSU. Yes. We're going right to Big T. JSU, you have to sit in the two hole today. Big T, how's it going over there on this Thursday?
Feels good. I mean, we just recorded the Showdown show. I was in the one hole there. Now we're doing the baseball show, back in the one hole. Me and Mangone have had great mojo on the shows ever since the Thursday shows with JT. We've always had good mojo, me and Mangone. We're locked arm in arm. I don't know about tonight, though, because he's got a Hawk shirt on. I might be on the other side tonight. You have to watch the Showdown video to see our exact thoughts. But looking forward to this baseball slate with my boys, see if we can pick some winners.
Yeah, I mean, nothing like Tony Snell and Paul Millsap bringing us together, Big T. That's really where it all started. That's where the mojo got going. We'll have to see, check out that Showdown show that Big T and JSU did. It'll be dropping on Twitter here shortly. Be sure to check that out. It's already up on the Showdown side. You can find it. JSU, we will go over to you. How's it going over there today? Are you pumped for some NBA and MLB winners today?
I'm excited. I can't wait for this Hawks game tonight. Selfishly, I just want to see the Hawks just beat up on the Bucks because I've hated on the Bucks pretty much all year. I don't know if tonight's the night that they're going to get it done. I kind of lean Tony's side for this game, but man, I would love to see the Hawks win this series. So I'm rooting for them right now. And it's kind of killing me because I want to kind of build some Showdown lineups the way my heart wants to build them, but my head is telling me that today is the Bucks day. Mangone, I can't lie to the people live on this show.
So tell the people why it's the Bucks day.
I think it would be awesome if the Bucks won without Giannis. It would just stick that needle in a little bit. We don't need Giannis to ship it.
That would be way worse for Giannis. That would be. But see, then I got to see Title's face still be happy and gloat about the Bucks constantly. Oh, even without Title would be that guy who'd be like, without Giannis, we still won the finals and everything, and we're the best, we're the champs. And it's like, no, stop it. It just means they don't need Giannis if that's the case, and they ship it still without him. But I can't do it, Tony. I can't see the Bucks win. We don't want that.
Tony, come on. We don't want the Bucks to win. We want to make fun of Giannis, right? I mean, there would be nothing better than them beating the Nets, right? The team that everyone said, oh, no one can beat them. And then the Hawks just take them down, right? I mean, that would just be so good.
It's going to be annoying, though, because people are just going to be like, oh, Giannis got hurt. And then they're just – even though it didn't matter that Harden and Kyrie got hurt. That didn't factor in. But then Giannis got hurt, so it mattered.
We got Mr. Jenkins in the chat. He's got a heart on because he saw Big T on the screen on the live show. He's got a nice heart on. Too. Yeah, I mean, whew.
That's what happens when Mangone's the host. Holden doesn't put me in no one hole. Get out of here, Holden.
We got to make sure to have you in the one hole, Tony. You've been killing it too lately, right? So we got to obviously represent that. The Showdown content's been amazing. All the content's been amazing over at Run Pure Sports. So be sure to check that out. Use that code RPSHeater25 to get 25% off. And it's early, right? Only 200 people watching, but let's get those likes going, right? We're at 67 already. Good start, but let's get pounding away at those. JSU, anything else you want to talk about? Do we want to talk some more Bucks? Do we want to talk some MLB? Did you ship yesterday? You had some game stacks in baseball. What do you want to talk about here?
No shipper yesterday. I did cash, but no shipper, sadly, in baseball. I just had too many Houston bats. Somehow I cashed, though, which was weird because I had Luis Garcia. But I had Tony makes fun of me for my random one-offs, but the random one-offs, Tony, actually got it done for me yesterday. They brought me home. So Mr. Sheets, Mr. Goslin, all guys in my core, and then I had Gurriel Jr. on a lot of my teams. They all donged, which helped me somehow cash on two of my three teams. So, I mean, I was excited that happened because I stacked Houston on all those teams. And Houston was awful. So I was happy about that when you have a bad stack and somehow your one-offs get it done. And did Mr. Gallo go deep again, Tony? I told you he's getting hot.
I don't know if he did or not. Did he?
He did. He's definitely been hitting some home runs lately for sure. But the reason why
last night.
What?
today or last night. Didn't they already play or no?
Last night.
Well, they just started like an hour ago or so. I don't know if he's hit one yet, but last night he definitely hit one. But I was asking JSU if he screenshots, Tony, because we never get to see the screenshots from JSU. Right? He holds them from us all the time.
That's what happens when you're the #1 tournament player in the world. You win like 50K, 100K, 150K. You just don't screenshot it. You don't got time for that.
That's how it goes, right, JSU? You just don't have time for any screenshots.
I screenshot a $400 win the other night. I take pride in all my wins.
Tony, well, you're the man, all right? If I was the man, I would screenshot everything. But see, this is my issue with screenshotting is I was told that I don't do it correctly. So I said, you know what? Screw everyone and screw their damn screenshot police telling me how to fucking screenshot. I'm not going to do it the way you want. I'm going to do it the way I want. And if you don't like it, I won't screenshot.
Got anything for him, Tony? I mean, come on.
He's too busy enjoying those friggin' opal ice cubes.
Those opal ice cubes, by the way, bad take by you, JSU. You don't like pizza. You don't like the opal ice cubes. It's a terrible take.
He's always the sharpest one in the room. He knows.
Like opal ice cubes is I have
Tony,
fun.
just invite going to Lake Knee House, will you? Jeez,
he's already invited to the workbench. He did a show from the bench.
Yeah, that's true. I'm the only one who's been invited on Tony's workbench.
Mangone's invited whenever he wants.
I have not bought it yet, but I have the link, right? I think I asked K Falik for the link. I can easily pull it up. It's somewhere in the DM. So
the only thing Mangone did that one of my buddies always talks about, he went right to the main floor shitter and took a dump right on the main floor, JSU. That's got to be against some rules, right?
What?
Yeah. I don't know. I don't remember when that happened, but maybe I did. I mean, listen, it
definitely happened.
That was a long weekend, Tony. You know what I mean? There's a lot of people in that house. So
Tony told me you were hiding away in his old on the workbench in his room. You were hiding away in there.
Show from in there. I know that much.
I did the show from in there, but then when I was making lineups, I just wanted to I stepped away. I was upstairs, nice and comfy on the couch, where everyone else is like jammed in, packed. Some people sitting on the floor. I wanted some comfort, like Hoop did. Hoop was upstairs at night. He was sleeping, up on the bed. I decided when I'm building my DFS lineups, JSU, I wanted to be comfortable. That's all, JSU.
All right, you wanted some privacy while you're making your DFS lineups. Okay.
That's how we cook up those winners. But we got to cook up some winners for you guys today over here at Ron Pure Sports. We have all the content that you guys need. Also, I want to talk about the members never win segment because, hey, we have members winning. We got some screenshots to talk about here. In the NBA Showdown, we had some really nice wins yesterday. We had Jay Gingery, I think that's how you say it, or JN Gingery. He won $1,000. So shout out to him. And then shout out to OG for winning 25K. We have an awesome Showdown content. We have a video that you guys put together. And then we got that premium show, Up the Lock Show, which you guys have to check out. We got Hoop, Draft Cheat, and Holden. They'll be up doing that today, breaking it all down, talking about all the sticky stuff, which Big T, I saw you on Twitter. You said maybe Trevor Bauer uses the sticky stuff. I saw that the other day. What's your thoughts on the sticky stuff? Have you turned a little bit?
No, I haven't turned.
All right, JC, how about you? Are you still anti-sticky stuff, or are you now thinking that it's a thing and calculating into your projections?
Yeah, definitely not calculating it into my projections for sure. So I don't have projections, man, going. I hope you know that by now. Come on.
I mean, JSU, I don't know. Maybe you're hiding you're hiding your screenshots. I have no idea, JSU.
Mangone, Joey Work got your back about the dumper. He said that's a boss move from Mangone. I agree, Joey Work. That is a boss move.
Oh, man. Yeah, no. Listen, I don't know.
It's a boss move that Mangone is conveniently forgetting if it happened.
I mean, I remember doing it, but I'm trying to remember, like, sometimes JSU, like, we had some really, like, good food, right? We had some, like, we had some food that sometimes you just got to go right away, right?
JSU wouldn't have liked our food anyways. It was too good for him.
Why was it like just pizza every day?
Pizza and chicken. Yeah. And we had steaks the one night. JSU probably hates.
What? I don't like steak. What is wrong with you?
What
kind of animal do you think I am? Of course I like steak.
When you don't
like pizza.
When you don't like pizza, we can't count on you to like anything. That's just.
He likes McDonald's better than Wendy's. I mean, his food takes are terrible.
It's way better than.
He doesn't like opal ice cubes. It's a good thing he picks winners because if he didn't pick winners, I'd be worried about him.
Listen, if I didn't pick winners, I don't think we'd be friends. That's the truth of the whole thing. Tony would definitely not be friends with me if I didn't pick some winners.
All right. Well, listen, let's dive in. Let's start talking about some MLB. People want to get the winners right. They want to know your guys' takes. So we'll start off with it. Before we dive in, Tony, I don't know how much you've looked. I know you're typically more of a first look guy. So give me that first look, right? Sometimes people, they want you to have every single take ready to go, but the first look is organic, right? And along the way, we find some winners, and that's what I want to get from you. So what's your first look at this slate?
Yeah, the pitching looks good at the top. Anytime I pull the slate up and I see DeGrom on the slate, I get pretty excited because I know one of my pitchers is locked down. I can just play DeGrom. Takes a little bit of the research out of the slate. On FanDuel, you got your pitcher. DK, you got one of your pitchers. Second thing that catches my eye is just the weather. I mean, it's bad weather everywhere across the country, so I was trying to see what the weather looked like tonight. But, I mean, what is this, a 7-game slate, right?
Yeah, I think it's 7 or 8 around there.
7 games.
7.
And we got weather in – I was trying to see which games were early and which were late, but – the Dodgers game, we got bad weather, which we have 2 pitchers that I don't want to play there. So you can kind of cross pitching and hitting off for me in the Dodgers game just because it's bad weather. I don't necessarily like either offense in this spot anyways. The other bad weather spot is the Rockies game, which you go there and you look. Senzatella is always a target to stack against, so people will like St. Louis, but St. Louis's offense has been terrible. The Cardinals have been bad. I'm going to fade Coors, so that's another weather spot that I can kind of just cross off my list. I'm not going to play it. Everything else looks decent enough. There is some risk in a few different places, but for the most part, the 2 weather games, I'm going to fade, which makes my life easier. I try to do this as much as I can. Unless it's like a slate where I just need to play something, I do my best just to stay clear of it. And tonight makes it easy, I think. So it's going to be a 5-game slate for me. I'm just kind of fade those 2 games.
I like that. And with weather yesterday, Tony, I had the Padres, right? So I was semi-tilted. I've done a pretty good job.
I talked about it in the thing. It was shit and rain. I said on the up the countdown or the up.
I heard it. I held strong. I had not missed on the weather this year. That was my first miss. So I still got runs.
You got some bombs before it shut down, though.
Thankfully, but still, it wasn't enough. I was needed those innings, right? I really needed those extra.
There's not a sicker feeling in the world than when you see that game get postponed when you got a bunch of people. It's just a gross feeling.
Oh yeah, it is. First time it happened this year, so not too mad. But it is what it is. JSU, we'll go over to you, and we'll talk about the pitching at the top. I mean, Tony said it pretty easy, right? He said he's just going to put in DeGrom and move on. And I sort of agree with you. Be-Nair in the chat, he does not agree. He's saying Burns over DeGrom, which I totally disagree.
Burns over DeGrom?
Yeah, I think that's a terrible
Straight
take.
up?
Yeah, Be-Nair.
Oh.
Not a good take there, Be-Nair, but we'll see how it ends up for you.
You can definitely play both of them, but
yeah, you could play both. But I think DeGrom is the guy. I think it's easy. You just plug him in, you move on. JSU, do you agree? Are you plugging him in and moving on? And who are some of the other guys at the top you're looking at?
Yeah, I mean, I like these guys at the top. I'm definitely going to play DeGrom for sure. And then you got Burns and then Valdez. I mean, I'd probably go Corbin Burns over Valdez as my second guy, but definitely DeGrom will be the one guy I'm probably just going to play in most of my builds. Kind of bummed because I agree with Tony about the weather that I'm just going to cross those 2 games off, talking about the Colorado game and the Washington game from a pitching standpoint for sure. But I was kind of bummed about that because I wanted to play my boy Adam Wainwright, but against Colorado, who's just not good at all. And Wainwright has been dealing lately, but I can't do it with the weather concern. So I'm probably just going to stay away altogether. So for me, it looks like a simple slate from the standpoint that I'm going to spend up for 2 pitchers. I don't know if Tony feels the same way, but I think it's pretty simple in that aspect. Could we stream a pitcher like Cueto against Arizona, who's been terrible? Yeah, 7,300. I don't hate it. The Mets haven't been that great, even though their lineup's getting a little healthier. Ian Anderson provides you some savings. I don't mind that as well. But I definitely am going to try and build at least 2 of my 3 teams spending up, double spend up at pitcher. So DeGrom, Burns would be my preferred pairing when it comes to pitching.
All right, Tony, let me ask you this. You typically are one lineup to like 3, sometimes 5. It just depends on the slate and what they have out there. How many lineups are you building tonight? And obviously it sounds like you're playing DeGrom and most. Like, how would you allocate the pitchers, right? Would you go down cheap for maybe 2 of your 5 teams if you were playing 5? Kind of give a breakdown on that and some of the other pitchers you're looking at.
Yeah, I mean, for me, I've been doing 3 or 4 teams most slates for baseball this year. Tonight, it's super condensed for me with just guys at the top. So I'm going to have to find some cheap bats without a doubt. I just don't see anything in the cheaper range I like. I mean, the cheapest guy I would play is Ian Anderson, and I just don't love it. He's going to get a lot of ownership too because people want a cheap option, and there just isn't anything besides him really down there. I don't know. The Mets have been picking it up a little bit too. I don't know. I just don't want to play Ian Anderson against the Mets. So for me, it's just going to be those top guys, DeGrom and Burns, obviously, Framber. I think Framber is significantly behind the top 2 for me too at 9,800. So I do think Castillo, though, has looked a lot better to me the last 4 or 5 starts. So I definitely think you can play Castillo against San Diego. He would be number 3 for me and Framber number 4. But in the teams, I actually like Castillo. So if the money is a big thing, like 11.5 for DeGrom, tons of people in the chat are saying, if it did get you something to play Burns and Castillo without DeGrom, I think you could do it. I like them. I want to play DeGrom personally, but if you love a stack, I don't hate Castillo and Burns together.
JC, how about you? Could you do a Castillo and Burns? Like, what are you kind of doing?
I don't know about Castillo. Like, I get what Tony's saying, that he's looked better recently. San Diego, just for whatever reason, not that I'm like terribly afraid of their lineup, but it's not a lineup that I typically go after all the time. And the ballpark is decent for them. They're not playing in San Diego since he's a little bit more of an upgrade. So I'm probably going to stay away. I don't hate the take. I think if I'm spending up, it's clearly 2 guys for me. I agree that like the next guy is a step, like a few pegs down, which would be Framber, but I think it's clear DeGrom, Burns are the 2 best spends. Tony's take about like Ian Anderson, it's kind of how I feel. It's like, do I want to play one of these guys? Like, would I like some savings at one of my pitchers? Yeah, for sure. But if I can find a cheap stack to go with my stud pitching, like I'm not going to force one of these cheap pitchers in unless it's a scenario where I can't find a cheap stack or a few cheap one-offs to make my stack work from the hitting standpoint. Then maybe I circle back and say, okay, let me look a little closer into these cheaper pitchers. So it's kind of more of a roster construction question when it comes to me, because if I can make it work, I'm definitely going up top. So yeah, I probably won't be on Castillo, but it's not like a crazy take or a terrible take that Tony has. I'm probably not going to get there.
Yeah, Big T, we know why JSU is not on Castillo, because he's going $600 down for Mr. Adam Wainwright, his boy, right?
I said I want to play Adam Wainwright so bad, but the weather in Colorado, man, if there was no weather in Colorado, I can guarantee you I'd be playing Wainwright. Like no question, I would play Adam Wainwright, even in Coors. I thought like Colorado is terrible. Like even in Coors, like I'm not afraid to take a pitcher, especially a pitcher that has been really good recently. So I wish there was no weather concerns, because I would play him, and I don't think people would. I don't think anyone would.
Big T, this is the part of the show where you're just supposed to say no to JSU, or are you just going to let him go on, or are you going to stack the Rockies instead? You putting a Rockies stack together now.
Oh, I'm just ignoring him. I mean, I don't even know what he's talking about with Wayne.
You would not play Colorado, Tony.
I'd play Colorado before I played Wainwright.
That's not what I said, though. I mean, this is what you do.
It is
answer the question.
Slate. No, to be fair, it is a short slate, and I don't see a ton of offense that I love. So, I mean, I don't know. I'm not going to play the Rockies because the prices, I don't really love the prices. I mean, sure, the people that play the Rockies will play Hampson and Daza. 1-2. I don't know. The Rockies aren't my style today. I mean, in Pensac, too. I was reading Pensac. I mean, this guy. Update Big T on Bryson. The dude is 2 holes in, Pensac. Unlike you, I don't tilt every single shot on a Thursday, Pensac. I could care less what Bryson does today. I don't care. I don't tilt. There's no tilting, Pensac.
He's like 1 hole in. He's
literally on the 2nd hole, and he hit it in the trees and made bogey. Like, he's on the 2nd hole.
Yeah, I mean, Pensac, take a lap. That was wrong.
I love my guy Joey in chat. Joey work in chat, but I just gotta say, he says Waino's terrible on the road, even worse in Coors.
You love Waino.
First of all, Atlanta. How's Atlanta as a park, man? Going? Is it okay for hitters?
It's so as we get into the summer, it gets more neutralized for hitters apparently because like all the other places get better and
okay, but is it bad for hitting?
No, I mean it's not.
No. How'd he do in Atlanta, Joey Work? What'd he do? What did Adam Wainwright do just recently against Atlanta, in Atlanta? He owned them. He owned them for 38 fantasy points and 11 Ks. Come on, Joey Work. It's Colorado. They're terrible. What are you afraid of? You're more afraid of the fact that they're in Colorado than the lineup they're going to throw out there. They're terrible.
I will say, I'm looking at the game logs. Wainwright played Colorado, not in Colorado. He played him at, obviously, St. Louis, where, yes, there's a humidor and everything, and it's a good park, getting to be a better park for pitching. He had 29.15. So, hey, listen, on this slate, there could have been crazier. But, again, there's weather there. If you really want to play him, you got to monitor all that and check all that out. Any other pitchers you want to discuss for cheap? Big T, I heard JSU talk a little bit about Cueto, and we know Arizona sucks, right? I know Cueto.
Arizona is so bad. I can't play Cueto, though.
I'm with you, but
the
Arizona's
only guy that, I mean, because it is. I mean, tonight there's not that much offense, and you might need to play a cheaper guy. I'd rather just punt bats. I always would. Like, give me the crappiest bats and good pitchers. I'll take my chances. But if you wanted to play a cheap pitcher, Merrill Kelly's been good lately. Like, actually really good. I mean, 24 and 24 the last 2 starts in Arizona with the roof closed. I like San Francisco as much as anyone, but Merrill Kelly, I wouldn't be shocked if he got 20 plus again tonight. So 6,300. If you need a punt, I'd play Merrill Kelly over Cueto though, even though the matchup's slightly worse. I think he's just better than Cueto. So I doubt I'd go that direction, but like I said, playing 3 or 4 teams, maybe one of them I play a little bit better offense and play Kelly on one of them.
All right. Yeah. So I'm reading some stuff in the chat. JSU, I don't know if you know this, but the reason Adam Wainwright had a good game in Atlanta is he is from Georgia. So yeah, it was a hometown.
Oh, there it was. That's why he had a ceiling performance. I'm sorry. My bad. How could I have forgot that, being one of the biggest Wainwright touts probably in the industry? My bad.
All right. Well, let me go back to Big T. Big T.
Tony, this Mejia guy's pitching again, by the way?
What? No way.
Yeah, he is. He is pitching again.
I seriously don't get it. How?
I saw it today and I laughed.
Is there like 3 of them?
No,
there has to be.
It's because the day he was supposed to pitch, he didn't pitch, right? Because it rained out. I think that's why. Right? That was that day.
I don't know. All I feel like is me and Tony do shows like 5 days a week, every week. And I feel like at least 2 of those days every week, we see this dude
like
on
3 of those days he's on there. Like he's never not on there. I feel like he pitched. I don't even know another pitcher from the Indians. He's always the pitcher. Every time.
All right. Well, Tony, let me go to you. Give me your top 3 to 4 pitchers that you're playing on this slate and final pitching breakdown, and then we'll go over to the bats.
So for me, it's DeGrom 1, Corbin Burns 2, Castillo 3. I don't think I'm going to play Framber, so give me Merrill Kelly 4. Those will be my 4. I like Framber, but I just can't play him over those other 3. So I don't really want to hedge it and just play everybody. So I'll just say I'm not going to play Framber.
All right. Let's go over to you, JSU. Give me your final thoughts on the pitchers.
Yeah, it's probably going to be DeGrom 1, Burns 2. And then if I spend up and go a different direction than the other two guys, it would be Framber, but I don't think I'm going to do that on this slate. So if anything, if I change my pitcher up, it's going to be a spend down just to give me some different bats, some more expensive bats on one build. So give me Johnny Cueto. I'll take the bad matchup with Cueto. I know he doesn't have monster upside, but on this slate at his price, if he can get me like 15 to 20, I mean, I'd be very happy with that. So I think he has it in him, especially against Arizona, who's been terrible.
Yeah. Oh, gosh, Simon, get Pensac out of here. I mean, he's putting Bryson in a coffin. If Bryson Dare leads up to the leaderboard, Pensac, I'm adding you every hour I can in Discord.
No one tilts me more than Pensac. He's the best at it. He just tilts me.
It's just an FY too. Mangone remembers every take. Yeah. This is for everyone in the chat. Mangone doesn't miss anything, and he will remember you. So don't think you're going to get away with Mangone.
2 holes. I mean,
and he keeps talking about Patrick Reed, who's also like 2 holes in, and like he does it just to tilt. Like it's amazing.
What is Patrick Reed doing good? And
Bryson I have no idea,
bad?
Honestly. Like, I'm not watching. I think I'm sure he's like 1 under, and Bryson's 1 over or something.
Honestly, the most I know about this tournament is Hoop is there and they weren't golfing and he was posting pictures on Twitter. That's like the most I know right now. Because again, it's Thursday, man.
Yeah, it's Thursday. You don't freaking sweat Thursday. Gosh, ever.
Absolutely the worst. But let's move on. Let's talk about the hitters. Let's talk catchers, right? Catchers is not a great spot today. At the top, I don't know who I want to spend on, right? I know that there's some decent punt options, right? Like, I think at 2.2K, everyone's gravitating towards Jason Castro and those Astros, right? Against your boy Mejia, Big T. So is he chalk you're going to want to eat, or are you going to want to go up to maybe like a Will Smith at the top?
Yeah, catcher, like I said, I know I keep saying it, but this slate is not that great for offense. Nothing like sticks crazy off the page. A lot of the spots that don't have good pitchers aren't necessarily spots I want to pick on. So you got Stevenson in the 4-hole versus Weathers, but even the Cincinnati spot, I'm not like totally in love with picking on this San Diego team, but Stevenson is for sure the guy up top. You look down, I mean, you can play this Rivas guy. I mean, that's why I like Castillo. I mean, who in the world is Webster Rivas for San Diego? I mean, you got Austin Hedges. I always like him against a lefty, 2,400. I have to have some interest in Austin Hedges tonight. And he's been pretty good. I mean, I've seen him hit a bomb. Pull it up. He's got his last 3 games, 18, 7, and 10. I like that going against a lefty. Looking at the rest of the position, I just don't see much at catcher outside of whoever you're stacking. You could throw him in there. If I had to pick, though, it would be Stevenson, Hedges, and even Rivas would be I can't play Rivas over Hedges, though. So give me Hedges cheap, Stevenson as more of a spend.
All right, JSU, I'll go to you. Are you playing a catcher in your stack? You're Mr. JSU AirPod one-off, so are we hitting a one-off at the catcher position? What are we doing here?
I don't know if catcher's the spot for the one-off today. Just looking at the
Joey Gallo with another bomb.
Oh, God, I love it. And nothing's better than when I finally get a take that owns Big T for like a few days. Like it's so good when it just keeps going. I love it. Tony hates it. He's sitting there like, yeah, we have to talk about Joey Gallo for another like 5 minutes, and he's not even on this friggin' slate, but it's so good. I just love it. Back to the catcher position, though. I kind of agree that if I was going up, it'd probably be Stevenson, but going down, I mean, Houston, 2,200, Jason Castro. I mean, I could just play him. He's so cheap. Don't hate the Hedges call as well. But it's probably going to be a stack or just like a punt down, which is why I'm looking at Castro and Hedges. That's the most likely scenario. So either it's going to be a part of my stack with the catcher, or I'm just going to punt down with one of those 2 guys.
All right. I do want to ask you guys a question. So we saw Philadelphia and the Marlins get postponed. Now, that's not on this slate, right? But does that have you guys a little bit concerned about like games that are close by, right? The Washington game is pretty close, right? That's one of them you have to look at. What's your thoughts on that, Tony? Is that making you maybe stay away from that game even more? Because you kind of talked about that earlier, how that you were worried about that game.
Yeah, I mean, I play it safer than most people with the weather. So yeah, I'm just not going to play that Washington game. And the nice thing is, a lot of people will stress about it back and forth. It's baseball, man. You don't need to force anything in baseball, in my opinion. When it's like this, I just forget about it. I forget it's on the slate. I just ignore it. I don't have to sweat it. I don't have to worry if it's going to play 4 innings and stop. I just don't have to worry about it. So just get it out of there. I'll find another stack and move on with it. That's how I do it. Not saying it's right or wrong.
I'm going to say it right now. I think that's the right. I don't think people do that. I think people try and still like spread themselves too thin. So, I mean, I definitely like that way, especially if there's weather concern and there's a shot where that game goes. It makes a lot of sense, really.
All right, we're going to move on to the first base position. But before we do that, I do want to talk about some of the content we have over here. We got best ball content for you guys with, NFL coming around the corner, right? I mean, it's July. It'll be here. We'll have preseason NFL. People will be doing all those drafts. So we got videos that are coming out. We already have our first drafting video up on our YouTube page. So be sure to check that out, subscribe to the video, and like the videos, and like this one as well. Again, that helps us out a ton, and we really, really appreciate it. But let's move on. Let's go talk about the first base guys. And hey, we talked about Coors having some weather, and Paul Goldschmidt, again, Senzatella, way too cheap. You also got Max Muncy, who, again, a guy that we're probably going to stay away from because of the weather. But you got 2 great guys at the top, and the weather is going to cause some problems, which means I might want to punt this position more because I don't think there's a lot of great first base options, and I could save some salary. It's a slate that I think I'm going to want to spend up at pitching. So, Tony, I'll go to you first. Are you spending down at the first base position today?
Yeah, I mean, you look at the top. I'm not going to play Goldie. I'm not going to play Freddie Freeman, obviously, against DeGrom. It's just not going to happen. I don't know. There's really nowhere I would spend up top except Gurriel. I could definitely stack the Houston side, obviously. I think a lot of people will go to Houston tonight. But Gurriel would be the guy at the top for me. I don't see anything else at the top. I mean, I'm not playing Pete Alonso. I'm not playing Josh Bell. I'm not playing Muncy. Yeah, if I'm not playing Gurriel, I'm not going to the top. Even Joey Votto, I don't like Joey Votto all that much as far as that spot.
The only problem I'm noticing, Tony, there is nothing at the bottom, right? Like, it's a really weird first base slate. I mean, I guess there's Keston Herrera, but like there is not a ton at
He's
first.
Been hitting too, though. I actually like him a decent amount tonight. He's in the 7 hole. He's looked good to me the last stretch. He's one of my sneaky plays of the night. He's looked good to me, just straight eyeball test. I think he's a very sneaky play. He's going to come in low owned. He gets maybe the worst pitcher on the slate, which is kind of what I've been trying to target. I do hate the ballpark. Pittsburgh is not a favorite of mine. But like we said, there's weather. I mean, my slate is already down to like 3 or 4 games. Even though there's 7 on the slate, I'm only looking at 3 or 4 of them. So I have to ignore the park a little bit tonight on this slate. I'm good with Hura here.
Yeah, I think it's worth a shot. And also, like, if it helps you get another guy in a position that you actually want, then like that's going to make sense. And there's not a lot of cheap guys to go to. JSU, I'll go to you. What's your breakdown on this first base position?
Yeah, so, I mean, I think I'm going to target more. I know that this pitcher has been pitching pretty well lately, but San Francisco has been crushing right-handed pitching. And this Lamont Wade Jr., this dude can hit bombs, and he's 4,100. I don't think people are going to play him either. One, we don't have a lineup out yet, I don't think. So we don't know if I'm assuming he's going to be in there against the righty, and he's probably going to have a nice spot in the order. I think first base is it's not as strong. We don't have as many spend downs, and he's, one of the cheaper ones, I would say, outside of Ahura, which Tony talked about, which I think is a good call. He's 3.2 and he's been hitting good, but outside of him, I don't mind, attacking Kelly, even though he's been playing well with a team in San Francisco has been one of the better teams against right-handed pitching. So give me Lamont Wade Jr. as one of my favorite plays. I also think if you want a guy who's going to be 1% owned to spend up, Pete Alonso's been hitting pretty decent as well. A lot of people are going to play Ian Anderson. I'm not going to play him, so I don't mind taking a bat against a pitcher who's going to be probably pretty popular on this slate, especially a guy like Alonso who has big power.
All right, and Big T, let me go back to you because, like, on FanDuel, right? Like, first base sucks today. So, like, why not play Tyler Stevenson in the 4 hole at 2.5K where people are not comfortable playing those, like, catchers, right? Why not play, like, even Omar Narvaez at 2.6 where he's 4.4 on DK? I talk about this a lot because I love playing FanDuel and I like playing those catchers there because I think it just instantly makes your lineup unique. So, are there any catcher type options on FanDuel that you would look at to plug in there?
Yeah, I love the Milwaukee lineup just in general on FanDuel because of the prices. I mean, if we want to play DeGrom, you got Narvaez 2,600. I mean, you got even not just talking first base, but Hura is a little more expensive on FanDuel 32. But you got Taylor and Jace Peterson super cheap there. Just catchers though, yeah. Omar Narvaez 2,600. Even I'm just looking through. Where's the other one I saw? Hedges 2,400, super cheap as far as a catcher at first. I agree. Like, there's just not like Gurriel's 3,500. I don't really want to pay up unless I'm stacking Houston. I don't know. Yeah, I mean, I agree with you. I'm trying to see if any other catchers totally stick out for me. Stevenson, I like Stevenson. I'm not totally in love with Stevenson today, though. James McCann, though, 2,500, same type thing. I'm okay with the Mets against Ian Anderson. Lots of people like Ian Anderson. I'm not totally against stacking the Mets up today. Again, it's a short slate. It's baseball. You don't have to go normal. You can build a little different in baseball. I like the Mets. That's it for me, though, as far as first base. I think Austin Hedges is a really, really nice play as far as that catcher on FanDuel, though.
I love listening to Tony talk about the Milwaukee Brewers today, because if you listen to Tony talk about baseball, a lot of he's big into the parks and the park upgrade, park downgrade stuff. And he never likes playing hitters in Pittsburgh. He always talks about it. You know, it's got to kill him right now. I can even see it on his face. It's killing him that he's got to like.
They're not going to be the winner either. Is the worst part. They're definitely not going to be the winner.
But I like the worst when you know it too. You're like, I can see it in your voice. Like, I'm with you. I like some of these guys.
I need to take a chance on someone else. You're right. Like, I need to play. The Mets have a better chance being the winner than Milwaukee. Milwaukee's never the winner.
Tony, let's talk about this then. And JSU, let me get your takes on it because you don't stack as much as other people, right? Like, so is this a day maybe not to full on stack, right? Like, should you maybe not play the 4-4? Maybe it's a 2-2-2 kind of day. I know there's not as many games that you guys are looking at, and it's a shorter slate. So, JC, we'll go to you first. Are you definitely like not doing a 5-man today, basically? Like, how are you handling the stacking on this slate?
So I think this is a spot where when you say I'm not a big stacker, I wouldn't say that. I just don't abide to you have to 5-man stack every single time you stack a team up. Or like, I think on a slate like today where we don't love a ton of offenses, this is the perfect slate where you could do like a 3-3 and then 2 1-offs or a 2-man mini stack. Like, I think this is the perfect slate where you can pick 2 like main offenses where you don't want to go like crazy all in on, but you want to have a few different pieces of, and then you pick like your 2 favorite cheap 1-offs or something to make it work and finish out your lineup. That's what I like to do on some of these slates. But at the same time, I don't know, because Tony brings up an idea like stacking the Mets. Like, I think if you're playing the Mets and you're if you're not just playing a 1-off like a Pete Alonso, and you're just going to go in, and you should just stack the Mets. Like, I think the Mets are an example of a team where if you're playing a 1-off, that's fine. But if you're going to go more, you should just stack them up because you kind of hope they just absolutely crush against a pitcher that's going to be really highly owned. You want that ownership to get crushed with that pitcher, and you want them to kind of go off on this slate. But I do think there's merit in kind of taking a few different teams and getting a piece of like 2 or 3 teams on this slate where you don't love it. So you don't want to 5-man stack it, but you can pick a few bats from each team that you do like.
Yeah, I think that's really great points that you're bringing up there. Big T, I'll go over to you. How are you handling it, right? I mean, you're typically someone correlation. So let's get your breakdown on it today. Because again, it's a tougher slate, and with the weather, it might change it up a ton.
I mean, I think it's even more of a stack slate because no one likes – this is the slates that people like to do the 3-3-2 because they don't like the stacks. I think it's even more likely a stack shifts on slate like this because, yeah, right now we don't necessarily love any stack that sticks off the page, but when one of these teams scores a ton of runs, you're going to skyrocket up the board. And, yeah, I mean, it goes both ways. This is the best part of DFS. There's more than one way to win. There's more than one way to get to the top. For me, I think the easiest way to win a tournament tonight is stack one of these teams up, have them go off, and when everyone else doesn't go off, you're going to be at the top of the leaderboard. There's more than one way to skin a cat. I like stacking on these slates more than other slates, though.
All right, well, those are some of the tournament thoughts from some of the best tournament players in the world. So, guys, definitely take notes on that to help you build out your lineups. That's stuff that you get on the premium show every single day over here at Run Pure Sports. Again, use that code RPSHeater25 to get 25% off your first payment, and check out all the content we have. And with the weekend rolling around, we don't just have MLB, right? We got NBA Showdown tonight. We got best ball stuff. We got tennis. Tennis has been rolling. Soccer, which will be on Friday, I believe, right, Tony? Friday or Saturday, soccer starts up
tomorrow.
Again.
We're back the next 2 days.
Soccer will be back. No MMA this weekend. MMA is on hold. And
you may even get some fish money from JSU in the soccer streets tomorrow. Ooh. I might be coming in the soccer streets tomorrow for the fish money. Am I playing tomorrow, Tony? Am I playing in soccer tomorrow?
You need to, yeah.
Am I in? I don't know. You tell me. You're the one who tells me. Yep. Okay, I'm in. I got to play myself. You know, I was getting added in the chat. I had no idea why. I had Big T calling me saying I just scored a goal. And then I get in the chat.
You've had a couple good games in there. Yeah.
I mean, yeah.
I might have to join you guys in the soccer streets. So, you know, it's I played a little bit. I've dabbled, not every day, but it's been fun. I had some pretty good teams, but I haven't gotten it home yet. Hopefully maybe tomorrow will be the day. But again, we got all the content that you guys need. NASCAR, check it all out. You know, let's move on though. We talked about the first base position. It's on to the second base position. And at second base, you know, the Padres are on the slate, and I like myself some Cronenworth always. He's definitely someone that I like to get into my lineups. You know, that's in Cincinnati area, Tony. Is that your game even going to play? I know there was some weather. Has the weather stopped over there for you? And are you playing Cronenworth today?
Yeah, I think it's fine. I mean, the weather's been a little shaky all day, raining, but I think it'll be okay tonight, even if it gets a little drizzle. I hate playing lefties against Castillo. I think Cronenworth's one of the worst plays on the slate. But again, I'm super high on Castillo tonight. Like, I think he's looked a lot better. I think he shuts San Diego down tonight, so I'm super low on San Diego. I won't play much there. Second base has a bunch of guys, though. I mean, India for the Reds, one hole like that. I mean, Colton Wong is 5,100. Is that real life?
Oh, that's real life. That's real life.
5,100. I mean, good luck.
He's been up there, Tony. He's been up there for a couple of slates.
I mean, that's mind-boggling there. I'm a little...
You won't see me playing Colton Wong at that price tag, I'll tell you that.
There is a bunch of options at this position, though. I mean, just looking at some of the cheaper guys. I mean, you got a Cincinnati dude I've never heard of, and I live here, but he's 2K. And on a slate like this with pitching, this is what I'm talking about, where you want these two studs. Just throw this dude in there, whether you like him or not. He's in the 6 hole in a decent park. He's 2K. I don't know who he is. I'm sure somebody will make fun of me in the chat because he's some prospect or who knows what, but I have no idea who freaking Lopez is, but he's 2K. He's in a good park. I'll play this guy for sure tonight. Jace Peterson, I like him against a righty. Got to like him. Mcneil, I think Mcneil might be one of my favorite plays of the night just because he's only 3K. We keep talking about the Mets as a sneaky stack, and he's in the 1 hole. So 3K, 1 hole, sign me up. I'll go with him.
All right, 3K, 1 hole, sign Tony up.
I don't even mind the dude in the 8 hole for the Mets either, just to throw him out. I have no idea how to pronounce it, but whatever that dude's name is.
Well, I'll say this, Tony. Guys in the 8 hole, that's what wins you slates, right? Like, if you're buying the jersey when you win, right? Like, it's not because Goldschmidt had a good game typically, right? Unless it's Albies, right, who had 3 home runs yesterday.
I mean, if they score 60 points, then maybe it helps you get to the winner's circle.
Yes, of course. But yeah, you need that low-owned guy, right? I mean, that's the one that kind of gets the job done for you. Also, we got Joey Work in the chat, and he said, is he putting his schlong out today, Big T? And is he putting his money in the 777? Big T, you got to convince him here right now.
Is he getting in it? I mean, he needs to. He needs to pull his balls out and actually get in that thing. I agree.
Yeah, get in there and stack Colorado there, Joey Work. Come on, get in there and put your money where your mouth is. I hear you in there. I see you stack Colorado. Colorado's going off. Well, get in there and stack Colorado. Ship all the money.
Yep, put it in there. And speaking of Joey Work talking a little bit, he was making fun of my Ohtani under the other day, and I was right there, arm in arm with Big T, not playing Ohtani, bet his under. Easiest sweat you could find. So
wait, you were on the Yankees?
What?
Yeah, Mangone was on the Yankees?
Yeah, he's out.
Picks winners. He's always on the winning
this
side.
This is ridiculous. All right, timeout. So Mangone is literally arm in arm with Big T on every slate now. Like what world am I living in?
Hey, listen. I looked at Ohtani's projection. That thing was off. I mean,
exactly.
It was garbage. There's no reason to do that. And man, in the future with Ohtani too, you got to bet those alternative lines too on those strikeouts because he is boom bust. Like that's what I'm going to look at a little bit more when I look deeper at those going forward. But we talked about second base there with Tony, but we got to go over to JSU and talk about his boy, Jose Altuve at second base, right? The little man himself, Jose Altuve, JSU, arm in arm. Are we firing him on this slate?
First of all, it's very hurtful that you just called him the little man. I mean, that is just as hurtful as you can get. Disrespectful.
I mean, JSU, he is
one of the better players in the MLB right now, Jose Altuve.
He's pound for pound one of the best hitters, right? I mean, you can't argue.
Yeah. Well, yeah, now say it like that. I mean, you don't have to say little guy or whatever you just said. I mean, that's just disrespectful to one of the pound for pound best hitters in all of baseball. I mean, say it like that, Mangone. That's putting respect on his name right now. That's what I'm talking about. But to say all that and then to get back to my point that I was going to say, Jose Altuve has been very hurtful to me the last few days. But, I mean, if you're spending up, he's obviously a good spend on this slate. Second base for me, though, is going to be a position where I probably spend down. I'm looking at a few guys right now. Tony talked about Peterson for Milwaukee. Now, that's one guy I can get behind, second base and outfield, 3,100 against the righty. Mcneil, like you said, if you're stacking the Mets. And then Josh Rojas, probably going to lead off against Cueto. So I could play him if I wasn't playing Cueto on a team. For sure, 3,600. So I think this is a spot where unless I stack Houston on a team, which I don't know if I'm going to do yet, I'm probably going to spend down.
All right. That is second base for us. Sounds like JSU could be spending down a little bit more at second base.
Timeout, Jay Reed. I do not look up to Altuve. If anything, we're right on par with each other. Like we can see each other. I don't need to look up or down. Like we're right here. Eye level. I can see him.
All right. JSU correcting Jay Reed in the chat. You love to see it. I do want to talk about the podcast that we have over at Run Pure Sports. Draft Cheat. He's always putting together the winners with our guys like Uncle T, G Risen, Steve Boyton, Gary, JT, all the guys over at Run Pure Sports. They do a free first look podcast every single day. So be sure to check that out on any platform, right? Apple, Spotify, Google Play, all of them. Be sure to check out that podcast. But let's move on. Let's talk about the next position. And let's go over to third base next. And third base, we got some guys, right? Nolan Arenado against Senzatella. That's a guy, hey, if you have the money, he's worth spending on. If we are able to play Justin Turner against Patrick Corbin, that's a guy that I definitely want to get some exposure to. And then Ryan McMahon at the top against Wainwright. I know JSU loves himself some Wainwright, and he says they're terrible, but Ryan McMahon has some power and pop, JSU, so I'll go over to you. Are you spending up for those guys at the third base position, or are you going to one of your Arizona Diamondbacks, Eduardo Escobar?
Yeah, no, I mean, I'm not playing Colorado. I already said it earlier in the show, but I'm probably just going to fade that game. So no Coors bats for me at third base. Here, I mean, you could go Suarez against the lefty at 4K. I think he's probably a pretty good play here. 4K is too cheap. Asdrubal Cabrera, 3,100 if he makes the lineup, gets the righty. Those are like just two of the guys that pop out at me. I mean, if I'm spending up though, and I wish this game wasn't, if I wasn't fading this game, I would definitely look at Justin Turner against the lefty, but I'm going to fade that game. So he's not going to be in my player pool. So yeah, it's probably those two guys. I mean, Suarez is definitely my favorite though.
All right, Suarez is your favorite. Tony, is Suarez your favorite, or are there any other third baseman that you're looking at here today?
I mean, no, Suarez isn't my favorite. Toro at 3K, I like that price point on him. And this Mets dude, God, how do you pronounce this freaking dude's name? I keep talking about him, but Glormy or whatever in the 8-hole, whatever. He's 2,700.
Just call him Luis, Tony.
I don't
Luis.
Luis
Call him Luis.
Name? Luis. I like Luis. Yeah, I was gonna say I don't even think Suarez was in the lineup. That's why you guys confused me.
Oh, he didn't make it.
Call him Luis or call him Louis G. I think Louis G is a good Big T nickname.
You guys threw me off because I didn't see him on my list, and then I don't think he's in the lineup, so that's why I was confused. But
no, he's in the lineup. He's 2.7K. At least he's on mine.
Suarez?
Oh no, he's not. He's not in the lineup.
Oh, not.
Yeah, he's not in the lineup.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, I mean, I don't love this position. So Toro at the top, you got, if I was going to play anyone, JSU talked about it yesterday, but Asdrubal against Cueto, righty, he's only 3,100. I like Asdrubal as a +1. I'm not going to stack Arizona ever with how bad they've been, but that's a +1 that I could definitely get behind Asdrubal. Really, I don't like the position, though. I could even play like Killian Hayes or whatever the hell the dude's name is. What's the dude's first name?
Cabrian
Hayes. I could play Cabrian Hayes, and he's 4,400. The more I look at Pittsburgh, they might be a sneaky stack for me tonight against Burns. I don't know what it is about him, and Burns hasn't looked great since all the sticky stuff talk. I don't know. It's one of those slates where I'm not totally against this Pittsburgh team. So Hayes is a decent option. I don't love this position, though, so I'm looking to maybe get different at this spot. The chalky guy I would play, though, is for sure Toro. But the flip side to that, Toro has a very, very good chance to be the most popular third baseman. He's 3K in the 2-hole versus our boy Mejia.
He's going to be the most popular.
Doesn't mean we can't play him, though, right? We can get different other spots because he is 3K. He's in the best spot. He's a good play.
I can almost guarantee you I'm going to punt this position. Like, it's just, I think it's a cheap, I'm going to play a cheap play, whether it's Cabrera, Toro, who knows? Maybe it's Luis from the Mets. Like, it's definitely going to be a punt, though, I think.
All right, that's how they're handling the third base position. I want to go over to shortstop, and we talked about that terrible park, Tony. I'll go back to you because Willy Adames, I mean, you're the game log guy, right? You look in the game log. The dude is on fire. 22, 11, 4, 21, 9, 28. I mean, he can't be stopped. And now he gets Will Crow. He's in the 2-hole on the road, so you get the 9 innings as well. So maybe he gets that extra at back. It's the 5. I mean, Willy Adames at 4.4K. I don't think he's a terrible play here, Tony.
Yeah, I agree. Anytime a guy's hot like this, I have to have interest in him. And, yeah, he sticks off the page. Looking at the rest of the position, I mean, when the chat starts calling me out about Pittsburgh, I'm like JSU. It just makes me want to play him even more. When they tell me how dumb I am and how dumb and it's a terrible thing and no one can score on Burns, that just makes me want to stack them more and more, knowing no one's going to be on it on this slate. So please stop doing it because I don't want to go away. Yeah, Sean V. Pitt is the worst stack idea on this slate. By you guys doing this, it just makes me want to jam it in more. So please stop doing that.
Tony, own them all. Own the entire chat. The 460 people that are watching right now. Own every single one.
Like last night when they told me in Mangone, you can't stack against Ohtani. We said, ooh, take this 7-piece in the first, baby. Take it. But, yeah, the Pirates scored 2 runs in 3 games. Just keep saying it. Actually, I changed my mind, chat. Keep telling me how bad Pittsburgh is. I want all of the Pittsburgh stats. They haven't scored in freaking the 2 runs at Coors Field. Keep them coming. Keep them coming. But back to the position, Willy Adames for sure. I mean, sticks off the page. And the Reds dude, where's his name at again? Oh, Lopez. For 2K, I can almost guarantee you I'm playing Lopez tonight. He's eligible at 2 positions, and he's 2K on a slate where I want to play DeGrom. So I don't know if it'll be at short or second, but for 2K, and everyone was telling me that he's a contact hitter and stuff. Sure, that's good with me. So that's where I'm at short.
Yeah, we even have K. Falik. He's on your side too, Tony.
Let's go, K. Falik. Let's join. Yesterday we were battling a little. Today, let's get back to arm in arm, K. Falik.
Yeah, he said Burns is broken.
Yeah, Falik. Where's Falik at? Get him on this show. We got to build the mojo back up. Where's Falik?
Where's the chart man?
Falik wants to be arm in arm with Tony so bad. He wants to own the whole chat with Tony.
Yeah. Let's own him, Falik.
Oh, man, that's good stuff right there.
It makes me want to do it so bad now. I want this Pittsburgh team.
Oh, you have to play at least one Pittsburgh stack now. You have to.
All right, guys, hit those likes, hit those subscribes. Helps us out a ton. We're at 161 with 465 watching. And, Tony, we can hold the play. So what number do you want to make it for the chat? We want to make them work for it. I mean, they're making fun of us. I think we got to make them work this time, Tony.
Yeah. I mean, for me to give out my favorite Pittsburgh play as the play of the day, we got to get to at least 250 likes.
250. You guys got some work to do. So you heard the man, and Big T's been on fire. So don't miss out on that.
If you really want the gymnastic one-off play of the day, you're gonna have to get up to that 250 spot I got a good name because Tony talked about skinning the cat earlier. He brought up the skin the cat. Actually, it's a gymnast move right there, Tony. It's a strength exercise, and I skin the cat. So I might be renaming my play of the day.
What do they call the rings that I always make fun of you for? The rings? What do you call that? What do they call it?
The rings?
That's what they're actually called?
The rings that you jump onto?
Where you hang and then you do the little flips and stuff. It's just called the rings.
I mean, yeah, those are rings, yeah.
The JSU rings play of the day.
I mean, I kind of like the skin the cat play of the day.
Does anyone ever jump off what's the thing where you like torpedo off?
Well, like a trampoline?
No, like the little, like the main like thing that's kind of
like you run and then like you jump. It's like a trampoline kind of.
Yeah, and that's not a trampoline, but it's like a horse looking thing. Not a horse.
It's like I know what you're talking about. It's like I don't know what it's called. I didn't do that. What do you? You literally think I'm like an actual gymnast. I'm not a gymnast.
You were upset when we were talking about gymnasts that day.
Yeah, because your tape
I need
was
good
wrong.
mojo, Falik. Get on here and talk about Pittsburgh.
We need Falik here talking about Pittsburgh. We need JSU and a leotard, right? That's what we need.
I don't know if we need that actually.
I don't think you'll ever see that.
I will say, JSU, you said that we can't take you down. Me, Draft Cheat, and Big T.
You can't.
You're wearing a leotard. We're not taking you down.
The pommel horse. Is that what it's called? The
pommel horse. Yeah, there you go.
It's actually called the horse. I was joking that it's a horse. The vault. The chat's got me dying now. This is the best.
It's a springboard. Yeah, it's pretty much a springboard.
Is that what they call it though? What do they call it?
I don't know what they call it. I don't even know. You guys act like I'm an actual gymnast. I'm not a gymnast, all right? I just like to work out. So I'll do strength exercises for working out.
Look, that's not what it is. What's the other word someone said? The pommel horse?
Yeah, the pommel.
You're talking about a pommel horse?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, it's definitely the pommel horse. Look at it.
No, the pommel horse. That's where like the rings are down, like you spin on them and like.
Yeah, that's not it either. That's not what I'm talking about.
No, the pommel horse is where those rings you grab and like you like fling your legs around.
I could see JSU using a pommel.
No, yeah, pommel horse is no. I never did. That's
not what it is either.
Well, we're off the rails. We got to get this. And we got K Falik here.
Is he on here? There he is. Yeah. Get K Falik in here. He's going to own the chat today.
So K Falik, own the chat. Tell us why you're on the Pirate stack today and give us the chart updates on why Burns is broken.
Well, first of all, it's a free show, so I'm a little concerned to post any information that came from the Discord that Gary the Goat posted for everybody in there. I don't know if that's information we're providing in here, but Gary the Goat posted some information about this Corbin Burns guy that makes me very interested in these buckos tonight.
Well,
am I going to discuss what they are? Or are we going to let it be a members only piece of information?
Yeah, we're going to discuss it.
We're just
own them. We're going to own them all.
Give out the goods, K Falik, because no one's going to follow you anyways.
Before you give it out, the thing I was talking about, I finally found it, is called the vault.
Ah, the vault.
Yep. So now own the chat.
All right. Well, the information is we may have a guy who is impacted by the sticky stuff named Corbin Burns. And we don't want to talk about sticky stuff too much, but Corbin Burns RPMs have gone down quite a bit since sticky stuff got discussed by the MLB.
All right. Well, K-Fleet giving you the goods, so that's why he's interested there in those Pirates. JSU, I'll go to you for the shortstop position, right? What shortstops are you looking at here on this slate?
Yeah, I mean, for me, I see my boy Brandon Crawford. I talked about San Francisco a little bit. 4,600. Him and Willy Adames at 4,600 and 4,400 are definitely two of my favorite shortstops. Price reasonable here on this slate, so I can go there. But I don't mind Tony talking about the full punt if I needed the full punt position. But if I have the money, I'm definitely going to go with Crawford or Adames. I don't think many people are going to stack against Kelly. I don't know how many people will play Kelly, but I think people have seen that he's been pretty good lately. And the Giants have just been so good as a team that I'm not afraid to take some bats against Merrill Kelly, even though he has been legitimately pretty good.
All right, Kay Falik, we'll go over to you. What shortstops are you looking at on this slate? Are you playing one of the Pirates ones? Do you like the Brandon Crawford call? Where are you going at shortstop?
So I really want to, depending on if there's a chance that this Washington LA game plays, I'm really excited by that game a lot because I think it comes in with low ownership and you got two good offenses that people are just going to completely forget solely because of the game. If the game, what I think is nice about it is if the game doesn't play, or we'll know early enough that it won't play, that we'll be able to change over. But I feel like we're going to get some low ownership in this from the Dodgers and the Nationals. So I find that I'm interested in that side. In regards to shortstop specifically, I'm guessing Trey Turner is going to be out, but if he's in, I like him a ton. I also like, who was it? I agree with Tony on the Lopez call. I think Lopez is 2K and has some. You can't go wrong with a 2K position on there. I'm not messing with playing any San Diego guys. I think Castillo's looked a lot better lately as well. Shortstop's really weak today because all the Correa's out. Turner's expected to be out. Like a lot of the guys are expected to be out that you want to play. So it's probably going to be a position that I'm going to end up punting with a guy like Lopez, or even this Gonzalez guy. If I want to go with a 5-man, he'd be the last piece of the 5-man stack I'd go with on Pittsburgh.
All right, let's move on over to the outfield. And outfield is always absolutely loaded. JSU, I'll go to you first. Are you spending up in the outfield today? Are you spending down? How are you allocating your salary?
Yeah, so first off on this slate, I just want to say, like, this slate, there are not many, like, obvious, like, these offenses that we're talking about, they're not, like, the sexiest offense. We got Pittsburgh talk. I'm talking about the Giants. We've talked about the Mets on this slate. These are teams that, like, I think we can all agree are going to have lower ownership. I think the Pittsburgh team will definitely have the lowest ownership for sure. But all these teams will have somewhat lower ownership on the slate. But, like, yeah, for you to be like, oh, yeah, if you stack, you're surely going to lose. Well, yeah, but I also have a chance to ship if one of these random low-owned teams go off. So that's what you have to think about on these smaller slates. There's Houston and there's Coors. Like, fine, you want to play Coors in Houston? Like, go for it. All right, Coors has weather issues, but, like, obviously it's Coors. So, people play them all the time anyways. And then Houston is just, they've been so good with the bats that, like, they're going to be high owned too. And they have low, like, cheap guys too. So my point to all this is, like, yeah, I mean, for you to be like, oh yeah, Pittsburgh's definitely a loser or the Giants are definitely a loser I mean, this slate doesn't have many, like, just great offenses. So I don't know what you're talking about. Like, you have to kind of, play one of these teams if you're looking to try and ship, especially in, like, the bigger tournaments, like the $18 on DraftKings and whatever FanDuel's like $4 or $5 tournament is. Like, you want to win a tournament like that? I like the idea of playing one of these teams, like even a Pittsburgh, who I probably won't play, but I like the idea of it. Like, take a chance on the slate. These are the slates you take that chance, where there's like one or two like obvious offenses that everyone is going to go to. And it's like, okay, well, if that's the case, then I know like four of these other offenses won't have any ownership. I mean, yeah, you should be taking one of those offenses that have no ownership if you're trying to ship. If you're playing in like 100-man or cash games, that's a different situation. But in tournaments, you should always be looking to try and get one of those lower ownership stacks, especially in on a slate like this. So going back to outfield, yeah.
Can I say something real quick about I know we're talking about, y'all were talking briefly about Framber, and I want to just give a little opinion on this game specifically, less on the Houston side, but more on Framber versus Cleveland. The Astros bullpen is completely taxed right now. As shocking as that sounds, they've been crushed by Baltimore the last 3 games. They have a terrible bullpen anyways. So I think that what you're looking at is they're going to throw Framber out to throw as many pitches as he can tonight, which could be an edge. If you think Framber is going to do well against Cleveland, I think Framber is more in play than these guys have said he is. And on the other side, if you think that Framber is going to get a little bit shelled, he is going to be left in there potentially, or they are going to bring in these back end the bullpen guys for the Astros, and they're not good right now. So I think that you have an opportunity to get a low-owned Cleveland, or I think you almost have to seriously consider Framber today, because I don't know if y'all seen, but you're talking about the last 3 games. I think they've gone through 6, and 5 bullpen guys for the Astros recently, and they've been like a ton of pitches on these guys as well. So just something to consider. I think that Framber's more in play than others do, but I also see the side of that you can play Cleveland because the Astros bullpen is just garbage. It really is right now. They're missing like their top 4 bullpen guys. So I would just consider that.
All right, K. Felique, since I have you here, let's talk about the outfielders then, right? You brought up great points with Valdez, but how are you handling the outfield? I mean, those Pittsburgh outfielders have been good so far. So are you going back to them, or are you playing some other guys?
I love Brian Reynolds. I think he's a great play tonight. Again, if this Dodgers Nationals game plays, Mookie is definitely in play for me. Bellinger is down at the 6 hole now. I know he's lefty tonight, but he's down at the 6 hole, which is going to deplete his ownership a little bit. They finally priced up Schwarber, which is nice to see. They put him at 5.5 after I think he was over 4 yesterday. Like massive number that the team put up. I like the Cincinnati guys, Castellanos. I think Aquino could get a bomb off the San Diego squad also, and these lefties for the Astros is where I'm kind of focusing in on. These lefties for the Astros. Brantley's too cheap still. He's having an unreal year. Yordan and Kyle Tucker are all guys that I'm interested in.
All right, let's go over to you, Big Platoon. Before we do that, though, we got to get those likes up, right? If you want those plays of the day, 203 likes. We got 447 watching. We need 250. So, again, we're already over time, so we can easily get out of here quick if we got to. So get those likes up. We'll go over to Big Platoon. Give us some of your outfielders that you're on this slate.
Brian Reynolds, like K. Felique just said, is one of the best contrarian plays on the slate. The dude is a stud. Pittsburgh sucks. Their offense sucks, but that guy's good. Like, that guy just rakes. And if you're going to play Pittsburgh, obviously you're going to want to play him in your stack. The other Pittsburgh guys, I mean, you can play the dude for 2K. I mean, you got two outfielders for 2K. Ben Gamel sucks too, but I mean, it's the same thing we said about the Reds guy. On this slate, where I think the Washington game is going to get washed out, I don't really like Coors. I don't really like Arizona. There's just no games. So I could play all 3 of the Pittsburgh outfielders and get some savings there. I don't mind that. And besides that, the Mets guys too. I've kind of gravitated towards the Mets in Pittsburgh. Two weird stacks tonight, but Conforto's 3,100, Dominic Smith is 3,400, and Pilar is 3,300. So you got three outfielders that are crazy cheap. All of these builds, you can fit DeGrom and you can fit like Framber and one of these studs, Castillo. You can fit two stud pitchers, which tonight, if these stud pitchers crush like I think they will, you're not going to need it. How many nights does this happen where we play DeGrom and Framber tonight? They both go for 30 plus, and you like feel like your offense isn't doing anything. You're not doing great. And then you look at the app and you're crushing because your two pitchers crushed. Other people played maybe some cheaper pitcher. Like you could even throw like Merrill Kelly and Cueto in there. They get roughed up, score 8 points or something, and you scored 30 something from your pitchers. You'll be doing better than you think you will. And then all of a sudden, if your offenses get hot a little bit, which can happen in baseball, you might have a chance to ship something. So for me, the Mets and Pittsburgh are kind of the two ways. It's weird because I really don't like Houston tonight. I want to like Cincinnati, but the prices just don't match up that nicely for me. Like K. Fallick said, Castellanos, I love him, but he's 4,900. I mean, I like Lopez. Aquino's fine. I don't know. I'm just not excited about him. I think Weathers, a bunch of the chat said Weathers is from Cincinnati too. I don't know. I'm just not as excited about it. So I might just ride with the Mets in Pittsburgh tonight.
All right, you heard it here from Big T. Are those your stacks too? We can just segue into the stacks. And we need 40 likes for the plays. It's not looking good, but let's just segue into the stacks for you, Big T.
I like those two stacks, and I'm for sure not playing the Dodgers game. I'm for sure not playing Coors. I'm for sure not playing San Francisco. So obviously I'm not playing Atlanta. So really the only questionable spots for me are Houston and Cincinnati. I don't want to play Houston. I might take a little Cincinnati just because I don't want to go completely all in on Pittsburgh and the Mets. But if I was playing one team, I think I would just play Pittsburgh and the Mets tonight, which is weird because there's some big offenses on this slate. I just don't see it.
May I suggest skipping over Michael Conforto, who is Jorge Soler 2.0 this season at this
bad.
point?
The problem is if I play the Mets, like I don't know how I wouldn't click his name is the issue.
1-2-4-7.
Yeah, I mean, you definitely could.
Yeah, I mean that, and then I guess you could throw in your boy Louis G, right? If you need
Louis G, I like that name.
Or you can throw an 8 as well, I guess now.
That's what I said. 8, Louis G. That's it.
I know.
So we'll throw them in, and hey, we talk all the time, Big T. Like you win these tournaments by the guys at the bottom of the order getting the job done for you, right? You
in nights like this, I don't think people fully understand. Like they always just want to stack the big offenses in baseball, and then they get tilted when these teams get shut down. Like when this Mets team scores 13 runs tonight at 1% owned. Yeah, we don't talk about ownership a lot on the baseball shows, which I like. I don't think we should. But on a small slate, when only one team goes off, you are literally, I mean, I don't know what more you could want. Yeah, they probably won't score that many, but it's baseball. You never know. You just never know when these teams get hot. So I'm all for it. I mean, Conforto's been awful. You could really be different by not putting Conforto in your stack.
My best slate this year so far was when it was a 4-game slate. I knew that Vincent Velasquez was pitching for Philly. Now it helped that he got kicked out, right? Pretty late in the game, pretty late before the game, right? There were some dead lineups, but I played Garrett Cooper at 5% because no one was playing him, right? I mean, he just wasn't owned, and those guys can be the difference to get you to the top of the leaderboard sometimes. And that's on these slates when it's not 15 games. Ownership does matter. You can get some really low owned stuff that could be a difference maker. So be sure to be looking for that. We'll be giving out those plays in the Discord and in the core plays to help you get over the finish line. Again, use that code RPSEater25.
Yeah, Johnny Walnuts. Just stack Houston, Johnny Walnuts in baseball. You just stack Houston in cores, and that's how you do it. That's how you win in baseball. Just stack all the best teams. It's easy game.
I've been saying this. I said it already. Like, just everyone's going to play St. Louis and Colorado and Houston. It's like, okay, we get it.
And tonight, Milwaukee, which I'm not sure how. I don't know. I'm going to jinx the hell out of myself, but I don't want to play Milwaukee anymore. I just don't want to do it.
Milwaukee. I like Milwaukee more than Cincinnati, I think. The only thing they got going for him is Will Crowe is definitely like the worst pitcher on the slate.
And Will Crowe is really bad. I will say that. And I mean, that I don't know. Pittsburgh bullpen's not good either, right? So they get the full 9 innings as well, so that helps. JSU, give us your stacks. Are you going to your boys in Arizona today? What stacks you looking at?
Honestly, I like that game more. Like I like the San Francisco side for sure. I don't hate taking a mini stack approach with Arizona if you need some cheap bats because they're all friggin' cheap because they suck. But like if you need the cheap guys, I mean, they got some that'll work, Pavin Smith and Josh Rojas. But yeah, the San Francisco team for sure. I'm with Tony on the Mets.
Johnny Walnuts, he's going to take the under on 13 now, boys. He's got the under.
Is that a title burner?
We always talk about. He's got the under on 13.
Is that a title burner? Is title count Johnny Walnuts? I mean, that's got to be a title burner.
Gosh, I'll take the under on 13. Yeah, I'm going to push the whole bank account on that one, Tony. I agree with him. Whole bank account, under 13 runs, I'm with him.
Oh, God.
Let me go see if that's offered in any of the sports books. Hold on. I'll be back in a few minutes.
And JSU, any final thoughts on stacks? Johnny Walnuts has derailed us, but if you had any more stacks.
Yeah, I didn't mean to.
Yeah. That's all right. I love it. Get on the chat, Tony. I can't wait. If Pittsburgh does like ship for Tony, like you should just sign off for the rest of your life, Johnny Walnuts and everyone else in the chat that's been getting on Tony this whole time because
there's nothing
Tony's been hotter than any player in DFS. I'm not going to be stunned if Pittsburgh scores.
I don't understand
randomly today.
If people not followed baseball for more than like this, like weird shit happens in baseball. Like I don't. If there's any sport where weird stuff happens, it's friggin' baseball. Like I don't. What do people? I don't get it. I guess.
Didn't like Baltimore put like 9 runs up in 2 innings against Houston?
Kick Houston's ass.
Like, best I can get on the best I can get on is on DK is 6 runs or 7 runs for the Mets. So I'm sorry, I can't put an offer on there for you.
Does K Falik Sportsbook have that? Are they offering Opal Ice?
God, I love my ice maker.
It's going to be awful, Tony, when we fade the Dodgers-Washington game and Kyle Schwarber gets like 1 at bat and the first pitch he just hits a bomb. It just happens. I mean, every time.
I'm telling you, if this game happens, I really think it's a good game to attack. I have no confidence that it happens, but it's going to be canceled before there's no way they're going to go into a rain delay and hope that it's going to happen. It's either happening or it's not happening. And people are just going to take their eyes off of it and avoid it when we could possibly get it at low ownership with Victor Gonzalez and Tony Gosselin versus Patrick Corbin. I think that there's an opportunity there potentially if it plays.
K-Falik, keep in mind too, it's Washington and weather. We all know, like if you've been playing DFS, you stay away, right? I mean, Washington.
If the game starts, I think that they could just easily play through it. I don't think the game's going to start, but I'm saying that if they choose to start the game, they may just keep on playing. So
yeah. So the reason I say it is because how Washington can be with the weather, right? And it's Washington will make the decision, and then once the game starts, then it's the umpire's decision. So that's the thing you need. You need the game to start so it gets
correct. That's what I'm saying is if that game starts, you could easily get that game at low ownership in probably if the guys are playing 2 of the best offenses in baseball right now. Like you got Dodgers who aren't playing up to their potential as much, but they get to a heavy righty team going against Corbin, and then you get the Nationals going against what I think is a bad Dodgers pitching staff right now with these 2 guys.
All right, K-Falik, give me your stacks, and then listen. If we don't get more likes, we're gonna get on out of here.
Well, I'm on the Pirates right now. I think that's become a little obvious is that I'm interested in the Pirates. And I'm interested in, as I said, the Dodgers Nationals game if it plays. And from there, the only other team that I'm really interested in is if I'm not playing Framber, which I haven't made the decision on, it's going to be Cleveland. You get some cheap bats at the bottom of this lineup. I continue to say Mercado is batting ninth because their offense is good, but Mercado was batting fifth and sixth last year, I want to say. And he's batting ninth, and you got Hedges batting eighth. So you can do a nice little wraparound with it. Harold Ramirez is 2.9K. So it allows a lot of pieces to fill in if you don't like Framber. That's the question, is you have to decide whether you don't like Framber. If you don't like Framber, then you can stack up these Cleveland guys and get them at lower ownership than any other team in this, I feel like, today, and potentially print. So.
All right. Well, we did not get enough likes. So a couple comments, and then we're going to get on out of here. First of all, Johnny Walnuts, he says, JSU, I've taken bigger dumps than you can. I bet you JSU can beat you in 13 seconds, Johnny Walnuts. And then one last thing, Joey Work says, hey, Johnny Walnuts, I'll take the under on you cashing your lineups tonight. I agree with him. We didn't get enough likes. We'll make sure to put our plays in the Discord chat and on the content, but we're going to get on out of here. Simon, get us out of here.